So, folks, there is a really big problem in the Democratic Party, and that problem is that there's a faction of it that has kind of dedicated itself to the idea that, well, trans people, they're such a small minority. If we just throw them under the bus, then we can build a larger coalition with more conservative minded folks who wouldn't have voted Democrat otherwise, right? Like that's kind of one of the calculuses going on in a certain conservative faction of the Democratic Party. And well, that led to, of course, this article being published by The Independent on June 20th. Democrats wrestle over chance to kill the ban on transgender care in Trump's big, beautiful bill, right? And, well, it's a big problem, right? Because we have to put pressure on these Democrats in order to get them to actually hold the line and maintain actual protections for transgender people, okay? And it's really, really frustrating because it just seems like the obvious right thing to do. You do not capitulate to a fascist. You do not capitulate to bigots. Like trying to do half measures with people who want to eliminate an entire segment of people, an entire segment of the population. There's no half measure there. And I do have to say that one of the really, really nice things that happened, today is that there was something really good that happened. The Senate parliamentarian ruled that the language in the Medicaid cuts around cutting gender affirming care for trans people violated the Byrd rule. Okay, now the Byrd rule is essentially, you cannot. Let me put it this way. I'm going to skip explaining the Byrd rule, and we're just going to go into if it violates the Byrd rule, it's thrown out. It's thrown out of the budget proposal, right? And essentially, that either means that Republicans have to go back to the drawing board and figure out a new way to word getting gender affirming care into the bill in a way that doesn't violate the Byrd rule, or they just go, whatever, it's not even that big of a deal, and carry on with their business, right? So Eric Michael Garcia here on Blue Sky. But this does not mean that it's officially out of the bill. Republicans can try to insert it on the floor. The Democrats would need to raise a point of order, which would then require 60 votes to include it in the bill. Republicans would need 7 Democrats to join them and keep it in the bill. So part of the issue here, and part of why I'm bringing up this article that is now almost a week old about Democrats wrestling over the chance to whether or not they should try and kill this, we need to call our Democratic senators, because we need those Democratic senators to hold the line and not capitulate to putting in language that would remove transgender protections. So I am imploring all of you. You have homework between now and our next stream tomorrow, okay? Your homework is to call your senators. Okay? Let me pull this up. 5calls.org, folks. 5calls.org. It will be really, really easy for you to get your information of your senator. Call them. Call your senator. Okay? And if you have done that and you feel like going an extra mile, consider going to factzero.com. And I've talked about factzero.com a lot because factzero.com, not a sponsor, is a really, really great way to send free faxes to your senators. Okay? So I am imploring you, call your senators, but also send them faxes. Okay? All you got to do. And they have a little fax your congressperson. Look at that. All of the congress people who have fax machines in the House, all of the senators that have fax machines. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. All you got to do is get their info, put in your sending information, put in your receiving information, where you sending it, and then type up your message. Okay, do the things, you fools. I'll fax them real good. Okay, instant bookmark. It allows you to send, I believe, up to 5 free faxes per day. So you do not need a fax machine. All you need to do is type it up on that webpage. Okay, don't need a fax machine. Don't need to pay anything. All you got to do is fax. And if you have Republican senators, also consider calling them and faxing them as well. The reason we're talking about Democrats is because they are more likely to fall in line in response to pressure from folks like us. But also pressure your Republicans. They should feel the bite. They should have to deal with your bullshit, so make them deal with it. Organized bullying is basically what political action is, and bully your senators. It's your goddamn right as an American. Even my Alabama senators, especially your Alabama senators, become a name that they curse on a daily basis. You become the person in their office where they're just like, this fucking guy again. This fucking lady's here again. God damn it. Become that bitch, okay? Embody that energy. They make our lives hell. You can make their lives a little bit more inconvenient in return. Are there Democratic senators at all in the Bible Belt states? Yeah, I believe so. Do we really have a chance with red senators? Sometimes, genuinely, you never know, but you got to give it a shot. It takes literally 5 minutes of your time. Very much worth adding your name onto the pile. Okay. And with that, so I guess that's all. I guess that's all I had to say. But I think that makes a lot of sense, folks. Put that out there. Get their asses politically.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the scenes. Politics, being flame more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack.